Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my update to my rolling project pan. So that is a series I'm doing here on my channel where I essentially have a full face of products that I'm trying to finish up and use until completion. This is rolling style, so it just keeps going and going and going until I decide to stop doing this. It doesn't restart at the end of the year or anything like that. So if you want to see my progress, see my photos, my usage, all that good stuff, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's get into the update. All right, so we have one roll-in today. Very happy about that. And I think the next couple of months are going to be pretty exciting. There are lots of things that I'm really close on, and I've been working really hard. So I like to go in order of application. That's just easier for me. Some people like to go in the order in which things were brought into the project, but I like to just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So let's just get started. Starting with primer, this is my Elemis Superfood Glow Priming Moisturizer. So I rolled this in November of 2024. This past month, I've used it 14 times for a total of 115 times since rolling it into this project. I have no idea where I'm at. I am storing it upside down now, and while this packaging's not opaque, it just doesn't settle very well. Once I really have trouble getting it out of the component like this, like upside down, I will take the little dropper thing out and then it's starting to leak. And then I'll scrape around the edges, try to see how much I can get out of this. Unfortunately, it's not as fun to look at when you can't see the progress lines as much, but I really want to try to get all of my glowy moisturizer type primers out of my collection. It's not a step that I find really necessary, so hopefully this one soon bites the dust and I'll have one less glowy primer in my collection. But that's the primer. Concealer is where we get a little bit wild because I have 3 concealers to update you on. I don't know what I was thinking. Eventually I will kind of have this project go down. I have 15 items here. I'd like to be more around the 10 mark. I think that's a little bit more manageable, but it is what it is. I'm working on these concealers. I'm not going to give up on the concealers and just roll them out. I can't do that. I have to see it through. So starting with the first one is my color corrector. You see this month after month after month because I rolled it in October of 2023. I'm very happy about this one. I used it 15 times this past month for a total of 441 times since rolling it into the project. You should be seeing my progress photos right about now. Here's what it's looking like. I kind of thought I was going to have it done this month. I kind of really did, but I think definitely this is going to be a rollout for next month. Now I will roll in another color corrector because it's a step that I use every single time I do my makeup. So it's kind of just fun to track it, honestly. And after this, I only have 2 actual like under eye color correctors in my collection. Once I get through both of those and only have one, I'll probably take it out of Project Pan because I won't really need to work on that category anymore. But until then, I mean, this has lasted me like 3 years. They don't make this anymore. I think they make like an equivalent that I have linked in the description box below, as well as all the makeup that I'm wearing. But this exact one, they definitely don't make. And I mean, you get your money's worth out of it. Another one you get your money's worth out of is the Nars Soft Matte Concealer, at least for me. I've seen people pan multiple of these. This is the oldest product in my project pan. It's been in here since the introduction of my project pan. So I rolled this in September of 2022. September of 2022. I used it 15 times this past month for a total of 372 uses since rolling it in. However, the first year I did not track my uses. So technically I've used it more than that. I don't know why I'm saying since I rolled it in, but 372 tracked uses on it. Here's what we're looking like. I mean, I still have a ton of product in this. I think this has another good year on it. I don't use a lot, to be fair. Like, I kind of just will go and put a little bit of extra coverage on my nose. Like, even now my nose is still a little bit red. kind of have a blemish here, so I put a little bit on my blemish, but I don't need to spot conceal too much on a day-to-day basis. So I guess maybe that's why it's lasting me a little bit longer than maybe someone else who has like very acne prone skin. I have a backup of this. So this is not a product I will be even thinking about purchasing for a long, long time. I mean, I'm happy with the amount of money I've gotten out of this, or like usage I've gotten for my money out of this. Yeah, there's nothing else really to say. It's making progress, and that's as good as it can get. My next actual concealer is my only pot concealer left out of my concealer collection, like as a true under eye concealer. It is the RMS Uncover Concealer in the shade 11. I rolled this in July of 2024. Also making really good progress on this. I don't think it's going to be done this next month, but I think in 2 months this might be finished. There's not a lot of product left in this. So I used it 10 times this last month for a total of 132 times since rolling it in. We have officially surpassed the 1 year mark on this concealer, and it was practically full when I rolled it in. I will be happy to get this out of my collection. My concealer category is a category that's really, I have more concealer than I can probably go through. This one was my oldest and kind of a race against time. I'm happy that I'm able to actually finish it off. Hopefully it doesn't go bad by then. It still smells fine. So yeah, I mean, I'll continue to use it and hopefully finish it up and then work on the next concealer, because there are certainly a lot of concealers I need to go through. Now we're going to talk about foundation. I have the Valentino. This is the Very Valentino Light Lasting Perfecting Foundation. I have the shade LN4, I believe. And here is my mark here. Slow and steady progress, but I'm very happy with this progress, actually. When I started this, it was all the way full. This is like a couple update line here. I only maybe had like less than 10 uses on this when I rolled it in. So I rolled this in November of 2024. I used it 10 times this past month for a total of 78 uses. And I still think we have a ways to go, at least 3 months if I'm looking at this, maybe 4. However, I will say like my line markings are getting bigger and bigger because this bottle kind of tapers in. So I'm interested to see if it's 3 months or 4 months. But I do use this every so often. I'm not using it every time I do my makeup, to be honest, like especially now it's kind of hot. I'm going for a little bit more of a light coverage situation. When I film, I usually wear this. It's a really, really lovely luxury foundation. It's actually not one of the oldest foundations in my collection by far. But I wanted to prioritize using it because it is one of my favorites, and I have so many foundations that this would have just gotten lost, and I wanted to make sure I was able to use it because I love how it looks on the skin. I really do. I just think it looks natural, but with coverage. I think it looks really, really nice. So that's why I wanted to finish this off and not just let it sit in my drawer and expire. The powder that I have to talk about is probably my most disappointing product of today's update. I'm a little bit sad with myself. It is the Lancome Absolue powder in Ecru Light. I rolled this in February of 2025, so it hasn't been in the project that long, but I did only use it 3 times this past month. So I don't even have enough usage to make a new line marking on it. I'm right about here. I have a total of 82 uses on this powder. It is a nice powder. It has 10 grams of product. It's quite big. They don't make this anymore. The thing with this powder, and the reason why I'm not reaching for it, is because it does have some color to it, and it does kind of just darken your foundation just a little bit, and it also adds coverage. So because I've been going for lighter coverage days with the heat, when I'm using my Valentino, it's just not an extra step that I want to add extra coverage on. This is a product that I kind of, right now, not in wintertime, want to use on its own just as a powder. And I just haven't prioritized doing that. So I'm going to really try this next month to get a little bit more usage on it. My soft goal for every item is usually around 10 times. So 3 is really not hitting the mark with that. And it's not going to get finished anytime soon if I just do 3 uses every month. So that's where we're at with the powder. Now we get into cheek products. Yeah, cheek products. We have my cream here, my Hourglass Sheer Illume Trio. Whew. This has been in the project since October of 2023. It has been in the project for quite some time now, and I used it 13 times this past month for a total of 234 times since rolling it in. Here's what we're looking like. Very happy with this progress as well. The bronzer I have finished off couple of months ago. It's been a minute since I finished the bronzer, but I'm making really good progress with the blush, really good progress with the highlight. And when I say 13 uses, I say this every month, but it means I used both the highlight and the blush at the exact same time. I didn't just use the blush or the highlight. I will, after this update, kind of push the product down because it's getting a little bit difficult to use with a brush. So I'm just going to take this chunk here and kind of move it down so it's kind of all in one spot. The highlight, I use my finger kind of like this. And I don't know if you can tell, but the side here is pretty far down. So again, I will probably move all that product down and you'll see a photo of what this looks like currently. And then you'll see a photo of what this looks like after I've kind of repressed it, so to say. Yeah, very happy with this. I'll be excited when this is out of my collection. I feel like I've really grown to love this product though, rely on this product. I use it so much. Really enjoyed the bronzer out of here too. It's going to be a bittersweet moment when this is finished. It definitely will be. I also have powder cheek products, so bronzer, blush, and highlight. And for these three, these are the ones that I'm trying to actually get out of my collection. And the reason for that is because I'm only trying to hit pan in these products. So it doesn't make sense for me to have them in my project when everything else is to finish. So once these have hit pan, I will not be rolling in something in its place. But let's get started with the update. The first one that I have is bronzer. So this is the Fenty bronzer in Inda Sun. I rolled this in December of 2024. And if you saw my last update, go back and watch that video if you haven't. I did hit pan last update. However, I had hit pan the exact same day that I was filming, like I was getting ready to film and hit pan. So I decided to keep this in for one extra month, just make the pan a little bit bigger, love on it a little bit more before I put it away, because I know once I put it away, I'm not going to reach for it as much. I'm going to reach for other bronzers since I really spent a lot of time with this. So I gave it a little bit more love. I used this 13 times this past month for a total of 85 times since rolling it in. And I'm much happier with the size of this pan. So this is going to be rolling out today. And like I said, I'm not going to roll in a new powder bronzer. However, I will be rolling in a new bronzer cream to replace the cream in the Hourglass Trio. So that is my roll-in for today. We're going to talk about roll-ins after I talk about all of my update stuff. There's timestamps down below, so if you want to skip to the roll-in, I mean, you can do that. But this is rolling out. I'm very proud of myself. And it was a joy to use that bronzer. It was a little bit light, like even now today. It's a little bit light for summertime, but in wintertime, it was a beautiful bronzer. It was easy to use. You didn't have to worry about using just too much bronzer. Very simple. Loved it and have no complaints. Would recommend that bronzer to just about anyone. I think there's 7 or 8 shades of it, so you can definitely find the shade that you want. Now for blush, Pat McGrath. This is the Nude Venus blush. I rolled this in October of 2024. Again, used it 13 times this past month for a total of 112 times since rolling it in. This one's going to be in here for a while. I honestly don't know if I'll keep it in until I hit pan, because I have a feeling it might just be years. It might just be years, but I can tell when I look at the pictures, I can tell that there's progress. I just don't know if I want to commit to hitting pan on this because it is very hard pressed. While it is beautiful, it's an easy blush to go with every look. I don't really ever have to worry about pairing the right eye look with it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still undecided. I'm going to keep chugging along with it. Let me know in the comments if you think I should just give up on this, since I am trying to roll out my powder cheek products out of this project, or if you think I should continue on. We'll see. One day I'll just impulsively decide that I'm done with it. But for now, that day's not today. We're getting somewhere with it. It's not quick enough. And then for my highlight, I have this Dior highlight. This is in the shade Holo Pink. This was a limited edition highlight. And I rolled this in February of 2025. It's one of the newer products in my project. And I used it 12 times this past month for a total of 66 times since rolling it in. And here's what we're looking like. For the past couple of months here, you've been able to see the waffle pan pretty clearly. However, I do not see pan, so I am not rolling it out, especially since I'm not going to replace it with something else. I don't know why it's like this, but I don't see the pan underneath it. I just clearly see the waffle, so I'm going to keep plugging away with it. It's a beautiful highlight. I purchased this on the recommendation of Mel Thompson. She loved this highlight, and I just had to have it when they discontinued it. So I would really love to just love on this product as long as possible. I'm enjoying using it. It's really pretty. It's a little bit cool. Like, you can't really pair this with warm tone looks, but honestly, I just don't care, and I use it anyways. So that's where we're at with this. It's really pretty. I like it a lot. It kind of has like these blue flecks to it. I haven't really swatched anything, have I? And it's just nice and subtle. I don't know. It's a really pretty highlight. I have no complaints about it. I haven't tried Dior's new highlight formula. I really don't have the urge to do that. My highlight collection is out of control. If you already saw my declutter video, I'll link that video up above, where I go through every category of my collection, but I'll link the highlight one. Like, I have enough highlight. All right, a few more things to talk about. 5 more. We're going to move on to setting spray. This is the Pixi Vitamin Wake Up Mist, excuse me. I rolled this in April of 2025. Used it 15 times this past month for a total of 50 times since rolling it in. And I think I have 1 more month left with this. I really thought I was going to actually be finished with it for this update, but I just didn't get there. This is where I started with this setting spray, so it wasn't completely new when I rolled it in. 50 uses has gotten me to there. I've said this in every update, but I am a little bit surprised at how quickly this has gone. However, I do love this makeup mist. I think it's beautiful. I love the sprayer on this. I'll definitely be reusing this bottle for other setting sprays in my collection. I would consider repurchasing it if I can find it in France, because I don't know if Pixi's really sold in France, and that's where I live now. I purchased this when I was living in America. So I'll just have to wait and see, but this is really nice. I just like it as an all-over face mist for setting down powders. Just really, I don't know why I like this so much, but I really enjoy this setting spray. Now we get on to my little stick products. So I have an eyeliner and a lipstick. The eyeliner is the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in Mr. Bing. I'm making good progress with this. However, this last month it did crack on me a little, so I have more progress than I was thinking. Here's what it's looking like. So I rolled this in May of 2025. Used it 14 times this past month for a total of 42 times since rolling it in. I am proud of that achievement. Let me show you my markings so you can just really see how much it kind of went down this past month. So here is where I started in April, and then here's where I'm at now. So I've used about half of it. It was maybe like halfway done when I rolled it in. It wasn't completely new, but this is one of my oldest eyeliners, so I would really like to get it out. Plus I have multiple browns, so it was just time for this to go. I don't even think they make this shade anymore either, so that just tells you how old it is. I would think that they would have kept this around since it's a plain brown, but I don't know. I couldn't find it on the Colourpop website, so it just needs to go. I don't use a lot of it when I use it. Like, you can kind of see it today. It's only on like a third to half of my lid to just give a little bit of outer definition, kind of lift my eye a little bit. I'm not tight lining with it or anything like that, so I definitely have at least the rest of the year with that eyeliner. Then we move on to lip liner. This is the Kylie Cosmetics lip liner in Dolce K. I mean, it's getting there, but it feels like this is taking forever. Rolled this in July of 2024. Really thought I was going to be done with this by now, but here we are. Used it 13 times this past month for a total of 164 times since rolling it in. And last month I couldn't make a line marking on it, but I was able to this month. So here's where we're at. Again, I've maybe used about half of it. I don't know how far down this goes, but we're making progress. Hopefully it doesn't go down all the way to the end and it stops like here-ish. That's kind of what I'm hoping. But for me, lip liner, I just need to kind of lower my collection a little bit. I probably have like 30 of the same colored lip liners, which is just like a pinky nude. So I just need to use them up, and that's why I'm focusing in on this one. And I don't think I need to buy lip liner for a very long time. The next product we have to talk about is my lip product. So this is from Physicians Formula. I don't know what they call this, but it's kind of like a lip gloss stick product. It's in the shade Soaking Up the Sun. Wearing it today, and I love this. I would honestly reconsider purchasing this if I didn't have so many lip products in my collection. It's just an easy kind of gloss stick. It has the right amount of opacity for me. It feels nourishing on the lips without being like a lip balm product. It's just the best of all worlds. So I really enjoy this. I rolled this in June of 2025. This is the newest rolling product into my project. And I used it 13 times this past month for a total of 24 times since rolling it in. I had already decent progress on it. So this is how much I have left. And I'm marking it on the cap here. So this is where I started. You can see that line. I can't tell if it's focused or not. And then here's where I'm left. So I've used about half of what was in there. Honestly, I mean, I think I maybe have 2 months if I'm just using it here and there like 13 times, but I might put this in my purse, try and get this out next month. Just wait and see. I'll call it done when it's flush with the packaging, but I will probably dig this out and use the rest of it in a different container. Let me roll it down all the way so you can see how much I've really used. That's very satisfying. I don't know. I really enjoy this lip product. I don't know why I'm so shocked about it, because I think it's just one of those unassuming products that you don't have a lot of expectation for. Like, it's just an impulse purchase. I saw it online. I think honestly, I purchased it online from Ulta and it was like on sale or something. And I was like, well, I might as well throw this in my cart to get free shipping or something like that. And it turned out to be a really nice lip product. So I'm very happy with this. If you see this in your local drugstore, like, pick it up. It's really nice. I like this more than the Tarte because it's a little bit thicker. It doesn't click up. You can actually, it's not so melty, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then the very last product I have to talk about is my fragrance. I do always want to have a fragrance in this project because I have quite a few fragrances that I would like to really just focus in on and not just use a different one every day and none of them feel like they're making any progress. So while I don't use this every single time, it's nice to just have one that I feel like I'm giving a little bit of extra love to kind of really use and have a moment with. So this is my fragrance right now. It is the Valentino Dolce Viva fragrance. I rolled this in June of 2025 as well with the lipstick. I used it 15 times this past month for a total of 27 times since rolling it in. And this is where I'm at. This is only a 1 ounce bottle. It started here pretty much almost at the top. I'm actually surprised at how much I used this past month, but it could also be the heat evaporating it because I have it on my desk, not on my shelf. And my desk is facing a door, so maybe the sun is affecting it a little bit more, or maybe I didn't mark my uses correctly. I don't know. Either way, I'm enjoying my time with this. It's a really nice fragrance. It is a good just everyday, all year round fragrance for me. It's not too floral. It's not too musky. It's not too sweet. I just think it's like a good well-rounder. Like, if you're not a really big fragrance person, this I think is just enough where it's feminine, but not too feminine. It's just not too much of anything. And I actually quite like this. I'm excited to use it. I know that they have different bottles of this, and I would love to collect them all, but I'm really trying to stop buying so many fragrances and just collecting them for the bottles, because that is an expensive hobby, friends. So we're going to try and not do that and put our money elsewhere. But that is my update for my Project Pan. I'm feeling really positive about this project. Like, I think in the next couple of months, like I said, I'm going to have this lipstick out. I'm going to have this setting spray out. I'm going to have this freaking color corrector out. That's going to be amazing. Also the concealer. The primer, I think I'm close on. I think we're going to be having a good refresh in the next couple of months, and that makes me really, really happy. But even still, I've enjoyed my time with most of these products. There's none in this project that I really hate using. I don't love the RMS, if I'm being honest. Like, this is definitely not a favorite, but I'm not to the point where I'm hate panning it. The Lancome's okay. It's just good for like so many things. But now that I've updated you on all the products, I don't know if you noticed, but I almost forgot to talk about my roll-in. Let's talk about my roll-in. Thank goodness I didn't finish this and do my outro and everything before talking about my roll-in. So for my roll-in, I decided, since I'm rolling out the Fenty powder bronzer, and since I finished the bronzer in my Hourglass trio, I decided I'm going to roll in a new cream bronzer, because once I finish these, I always want to have cream cheek products and work on those in my project pan. So I think it's time to roll in the new cream bronzer, and I decided to kind of go with an easy one. The easiest one out of my cream bronzers. I was for a minute, I was kind of thinking about doing my Chanel. I was kind of thinking about doing my Nars, but those are going to take some real dedication. I was thinking I would do an easy one because hopefully I can finish this off around the same time that I finish these, and then like really start fresh with the cream products. But this is the Westman Atelier. This is just a mini. It is the cream contour in biscuit. So it's only, how big is this? This is only 0.10 ounces, 3 grams of product. And hopefully with a little bit of dedication, I can get this rolled out. This is really pretty. I like this a lot, actually. It definitely is a little bit more of a contour, but I do undo underpainting, so I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, I'm excited to use this. I'm excited to potentially move this out of my collection, just have my time with it, and then I don't feel the need to really repurchase it. It's not one that I love. There's definitely other cream bronzers in my collection that I love more. So we'll just see how long this takes to use. Can I mark it on the cap? I don't know. I think it's too big. I could mark it on the cap. Okay, so we'll use the cap to mark it, and you will see it in the next update. So now officially that we've talked about my rollout, I can't believe I almost forgot about the most exciting part of this project. So now that we've talked about my roll-in, that is officially where I'm going to leave you all. So I'd love to hear all your thoughts down below. Are you doing a project pan? Let me know so I can follow along, cheer you on. I always make sure to ask that in any of my panning videos, just so I can support you. I think it's really important to support the panning community. After that, though, this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.